Hey, what's up? This is Tony also, and I'm gonna break down the Subriel Matias versus Ergashev fight. What I don't understand, let me get right to the point. What I don't understand is how did Ergashev earn the right to become the number one contender to fight for Subriel's Matias IBF welterweight championship? That's what I'm trying to figure out. He hasn't fought anybody. All the fighters that he has fought, they were not eliminators. Like they weren't like anybody special. Like I didn't see anything. There was two undefeated fighters that he beat, Fox and somebody else. And I know that one of those fights went the distance. And I noticed that when Ergashev boxes, he fights from he likes to control distance. He likes to throw the jab, but he keeps his hands down a lot. But he has a lot of power. He has 23 wins, 0 losses, and 20 KOs. And Subriel Matias, the IBF champion from Puerto Rico, he's 19-1 with 19 KOs. The only reason why he has a loss is because to Ananian is because when he fought Ananian, he was smoking pot. He went on the plane high and he went to the fight high. And the reason why he did that is because he was going through a lot after he defeated Dadashev and killed him, which he didn't mean to kill him, but the Dadashev fight really affected him mentally, and he wasn't training right for that fight because he had that on his mind. What happened between him and Dadashev when he killed Dadashev? He took somebody's life in the ring unintentionally, and that affected him. That's the reason why. But then he avenged the loss by KO. He came back and he KO'd Ananian. Like that was a fluke. I think that fight was close. He may have stunned Subriel, but Subriel Matias, he never knocked him down. Nobody knocked him down. They're over here talking about, oh, he knocked him down. People that the Subriel Matias detractors said that he got knocked down. He did not. He, technically he didn't. He got stunned and he fell on the ropes. But remember, he was not training right for that fight, and he never went down in the fight. So, okay, the whole strategy of each fighter is based on their abilities and how they fight. Because if you see the way Ergashev fights, he likes to throw the jab. He has good footwork. He keeps his hands down a lot. He doesn't have his hands up too much. So I feel like that could be his detriment. Because if you're fighting and you're going in and out, controlling distance, that's okay if you're doing that and if you know how to time the person. But if you're fighting somebody like Subriel Matias, who has who throws like 100 combinations around, and he throws a jab from the shoulder stance, and the way he throws that jab, he's using his shoulder. He's not using his body weight. He's using his shoulders. So it's like you can't really time it the way you would if you see somebody using their whole body. Their whole body is more anticipated. But the way he throws the combination, the jabs, he does it from a shoulder stance, and he's deceptively skillful. Subriel Matias is deceptively skillful. He may not have the greatest defense, but he has decent defense, because when he fought Jeremiah Ponce, in the first round, Jeremiah Ponce was throwing a whole bunch of combinations and a lot of haymakers, and Subriel Matias was able to block a lot of those shots, but the shots that weren't blocked were obvious. And you saw his head go back, and that's the reason why everybody put so much emphasis on the fact that he got hit with shots that Jeremiah Ponce was coming at him with. But if you really look at the fight, Subriel Matias actually was blocking like 90% of those shots. And because 10% of the shots got through, people made a big deal and said, oh, Subriel Matias, in that first round, he got hit a lot. He didn't get hit as much as people are making it out to be. So after he figured him out, because he figured, let him throw his shots, he thinks he's fighting for 3 or 4 rounds, but he got KO'd in the 5th round. But he was training to knock out Subriel Matias because he heard about his record, that he has a body in his bag. They rest in peace to Dadashev. He was thinking in his mind, the best way to beat Subriel Matias, Jeremiah Ponce was thinking, is to throw a whole bunch of combinations and try to get rid of him in the first round, because he figured if I knock him out in the first round, then I don't have to worry about him coming back later like the boogeyman and stalking me and killing me or knocking me out. He may not have thought about it exactly the way I worded it, but I'm pretty sure that in the back of his mind, he's like, I'm going to train to knock him out because I don't want to be in the ring too long with him because he's dangerous. So a lot of times the fighters, when they see how Subriel Matias is hurting the opponent, they're going to give him the benefit of the doubt when he has somebody hurt, and they're going to stop the fight immediately because Subriel has a track record. He has somebody on his record, a body on his record, like somebody that died in the ring fighting him. So since that he has that reputation, they're going to be quick to stop the fight sooner than later, as soon as Subriel Matias really hurts somebody really bad in the ring. I think the fight is intriguing because Ergashev is more of an outside boxer fighter, but he has power and he knows when to throw the punches when he's going in and out. But at the same time, his footwork is off, and I feel like that could be his detriment because his back foot sometimes is it's not balanced, like when he comes in and out. And I feel like Subriel Matias has some trouble with footwork, but he makes it work for him sometimes. The way he uses his footwork, he's able to do awkward things. He's an awkward fighter. He throws short punches from inside where he doesn't need a lot of room to throw combinations, and he can really hurt you because he's like throwing short punches and he doesn't need a lot of room to actually throw the combinations. But you know, Subriel Matias is an inside fighter, and for him to win this fight, he has to make sure that Ergashev fights on the inside, which Ergashev prefers to fight on the outside, throwing the jab. He has that European style where he moves his legs back and forth. He goes back and forth, in and out. And Subriel Matias, he could actually, time him, and he's fast. He's not slow. So I think Subriel Matias has a great jab. He should use it more, and he should be able to get inside, but he should work his way in by jabbing. And then when he comes in with that style, in and out, then you go inside, uppercut, hook, and jab. Whatever he does, like he does the short punches, whatever he has to do. Every time that Ergashev comes in, when he's like trying to go for the attack, Subriel Matias should go for the kill as far as like throwing the jab. Throw the jab, short punches up, and or a hook, or hook to the body, or uppercut. He should try to do those things as Ergashev is going towards him. Like when he goes back and forth, as soon as Ergashev goes towards Subriel Matias, that's when he should throw the jab, uppercut, or hook, whatever comes first. But once he gets comfortable, Subriel Matias, he's just methodical and relentless, and it's like the fight turns his way. He starts putting his hands down, and you got to be careful because when you put your hands down, when you get too confident, you can get caught with a counter. And I feel like Ergashev might try to do that. So I believe that Subriel Matias is training hard for this fight. He trained really hard in Mexico. He's from Puerto Rico, Fajardo, El Maternillo, but he trains in Mexico, and he's training in the mountains. And I feel like he's really prepared himself, especially since he's going to defend his belt. It's going to be a different level of training and a different level of fighting, because once you become a champion, it's easier to become a champion than to maintain the championship. And I feel like that he's trained harder to maintain his belt and to make a statement, because a lot of people don't want to mention Subriel Matias' name. A lot of the other fighters like Regis Prograis, Devin Haney, Rolly Romero, who's trash. He lost his last fight. He didn't win that fight. They gave him the fight. The referee, I don't know what the hell he was watching, but they stopped the fight too soon. The old man, Barossa was beating the crap out of Rolly Romero. So I feel like Rolly Romero was lucky that the referee considered whatever combinations that Rolly Romero was throwing was actually landing, and stopped the fight, but he wasn't really landing any shots. The referee was probably bought off and paid off, because that's how boxing is, so corrupt. So it doesn't pass my mind that the fight was possibly bought. and the referee was actually bought. Rolly Romero is not a great fighter. He's a decent boxer, but he's not a real champion. Like, he hasn't earned the championship. He really shouldn't be the champion. So all the other fighters, Regis Progress, he mentioned him a couple of times because Subriel Matias mentioned him, but he didn't, out of his own will and out of his own plans, mention Subriel. He mentioned Subriel Matias because Matias called him out for 2 years and he still hasn't fought him. And he keeps saying that he's going to fight him in his third fight a while ago, but he hasn't been mentioning Subriel Matias for some reason because he's looking at the big fights, the money fights, like Ryan Garcia, who doesn't even deserve to be in the ranking that he is, or even didn't even deserve to fight Tank Davis, because like, who the hell did he ever beat? He was never a champion. Ryan Garcia was never a champion, and we had Tank Davis, a 3-time champion, when they stepped in the ring, already an established boxer champion, and Ryan Garcia never won a belt in his life. He didn't even deserve to be in the ring with Tank Davis. I thought that was a money grab. That was a money fight. That was not a real champion. That was not really a hardcore fan's boxing fight. No, we want to see somebody at Tank level's status with 3-time championship class to fight somebody that's accomplished as much as him or close to what he accomplished. Ryan Garcia never was a champion, never accomplished a championship. He did not deserve to be in the ring with Tank Davis. Tank Davis was levels above him. I already knew that Tank Davis was going to knock him out. Ryan Garcia is trash. So I feel like the money fight, like Ryan Garcia, is a good fight to get somebody famous, because that's what he did for Tank. He got him more popular, but that's about it. He's just a social media boxer. He's not a real talented champion. He's not even a champion. He's not that elite. He just got power and good looks. That's it. No homo. So Subriel Matias has been avoided by everybody in the division. And, Devin Haney, Regis Progress, Rolly Romero, and Teofimo Lopez, which I feel like is probably the most talented between him and Devin Haney. Regis Progress, I don't think he's going to win that fight, by the way. I don't think he's going to beat Devin Haney. He had trouble with Danielito Zorrilla from Puerto Rico, another Boricua. And he had trouble with his movement. If he had trouble with Zorrilla's movement, imagine how much trouble he's going to have with this guy, Devin Haney. But Devin Haney doesn't have the power that Zorrilla has. Zorrilla has some power, too. So you got to think about that, too. He's probably going to walk right through Devin Haney because he's probably not going to feel that. Regis Progress is probably not going to feel Devin Haney's power. Maybe, I don't think he's going to miraculously gain some power just because he moved up to 140. If you don't have power at 135, 130, you're not going to have power at 140. Like, you have to be born with that. That's natural. Like Subriel Matias, he is natural power. A lot of it is a cumulative effect, but I feel like Subriel Matias hits hard. He's a beast. He's really he's made different. Like, his mentality, the way he's built is different. And Ergashev looks like he's a very good. He has some technical abilities, but I don't think he's very limited. He hasn't fought anybody to get to the position to fight Subriel Matias. He's never fought the caliber of boxers that Subriel Matias beat to get to the world championship. Subriel Matias fought 2 title eliminators. He fought like 5 undefeated fighters. He fought Malik Hawkins. He fought Dadashev, who was undefeated as well. All those Ukrainian, Russian fighters, they're really good. They're tough fighters, and they were ranked, and they deserve to be ranked. And he also beat Yukimbayev, and in the rematch he knocked him out. He lost the first fight, but remember, he wasn't training right for the fight because he got affected by the Dadashev victim that he took out and lost his life. That affected him, so he didn't train right. But now he's 300% ready and 300% different than when he fought. And they fought in Las Vegas when he lost his championship for the first time, and not championship, when he lost his undefeated record for the first time. He lost in the undercard of Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, and he avenged that loss. And he's fighting in the same location where he lost his belt, but he said that God has given him the opportunity to correct whatever he did wrong in the same location, Las Vegas, when he lost. But remember, he avenged the loss by KO. And I feel like the guy that he's fighting, he's a Pakistan. Pakistan. I don't know how to pronounce the country. It's close to Russia. So this guy, Ergashev is saying a lot of stuff, personal stuff, saying to Subriel Matias that he better prepare, that this is going to be, he better say goodbye to his family because this is going to be the last time he's not going to see his family ever again. So Subriel Matias said that he's going to make him pay for saying that, and that he said that nobody's going to take the championship that he worked so hard to get away from him. And I believe him. He's built a certain way. I feel like the difference between styles is that it's a contrasting in styles. Ergashev is an outside fighter who likes to control distance, but who did he control distance against? A lot of cab drivers. He hasn't fought anybody to be in the position that he's in. But Subriel Matias had to fight 2 title eliminators and 3 other undefeated fighters to get to the championship, to win the championship, the IBF, which was no gimme, was no easy accomplishment because he had to fight every undefeated boxer and 2 title eliminators just to get the IBF belt. I don't know. Could it be because he's Puerto Rican? And Ergashev is a European, even though they're, Uzbekistan, they're like Asian and Russian, right? So still, I just feel like there's an unfair treatment. And a lot of the boxers, a lot of interviewers, a lot of commentators do not want to mention Subriel Matias' name. I just feel like they don't want to mention his name because he is promoted by Fresh Productions and on a fight-to-fight basis with Showtime, which is with PBC, they're not going to be in business anymore. And PBC doesn't directly promote him, but they promote and work with Fresh Productions from Puerto Rico, the best promotion company in Puerto Rico, as far as what Subriel Matias says. And I believe him. So they got him the belt. So you gotta appreciate that company. But I feel like Subriel Matias, to win this fight, he has to dictate the pace. He has to make Ergashev fight his style and fight inside. I think that the fight inside will benefit Subriel Matias, but he has to keep his guard up because this guy, Ergashev, goes in and out with hooks, jabs, and he has good footwork, but he doesn't have good defense. He has his hands down a lot. So I think that that's going to be detrimental for him, and I think Subriel Matias is going to have opportunities to catch him. And I feel like the fight is going to be an entertaining fight. The first 3 rounds, I feel like it's going to be a chess match, but it might actually not be a chess match, and Subriel Matias might catch him early. But I feel like the first 3 rounds is going to be not a chess match because these guys, they're going at each other. I feel like they're going to fight. It's going to be like 2 trucks going at each other. But I feel like the first 3 rounds is going to be a round where no one's dominating the other as much right away. But I feel like something's going to happen in the 3rd round where Subriel Matias is going to catch him when he comes in. And Ergashev might catch Subriel too. But I feel like Ergashev has not battle tested. He hasn't faced anybody like Subriel Matias. I feel like Subriel Matias is battle tested. And I feel like he's prepared for this moment. I don't think that this moment Ergashev is going to be as ready as Subriel because he hasn't fought anybody to get to the championship. And I feel like that's going to be his downfall. And my prediction is Subriel Matias knocks out in brutal fashion Ergashev in round 6. So Puerto Rico, be proud. Subriel Matias is going to be here for a minute, and he's going to take over the 140-pound division. Trust me on that. He's going to take advantage of the opportunity, and he's training, and he's focused. He's a beast. He's built a different way. The kind of lifestyle that he lived and what he went through in his life, getting shot, and all those things, all that adversity just makes you a different type of fighter, and it prepares you mentally. But I feel like his road wasn't easy, and his road to the championship wasn't easy as well. So I think all of those things are going to contribute to the mental fortitude, mental strength, and boxing. What do you call that? The boxing strength that he has. It's going to play a big factor in who's going to win the fight. And I feel like Subriel Matias, and I believe Ergashev has been through some stuff as well, but I think he's arrogant. He's very cocky. And I feel like when you're cocky too much, you overlook things. And that's where you leave yourself open. And that's why I feel like Subriel Matias is going to take him out. Because Subriel Matias is very, very confident, but he's not arrogant. He just believes in himself, and he's a beast. He said, I want to see if he basically said we're gonna kill each other up there, and I'm gonna see what kind of balls he has, because I'm not gonna let anybody take away my belt, what I worked so hard to accomplish, take away from me. And I truly believe him, and I feel like Subriel Matias, Paulie Malignaggi, gonna eat his words. Paulie Malignaggi was saying that he don't think he's gonna put Subriel Matias in the top 3 of 140 pounders because he don't think that he's gonna beat Ergashev. I think he's just talking like that because he wants Ergashev to beat Subriel, so he doesn't have to rank him and doesn't have to be proven wrong, which he was already proven wrong for not acknowledging such a great champion and earned a champion that earned his position as far as the contenders and title eliminators to win the championship belt. He needs to fight a champion. I agree with Chris Algieri. He needs to fight a champion, and I feel like if the champions don't want to fight him, that's not his fault. A lot of the fighters don't want to mention him. The commentators don't want to talk about him. The fighters, the boxers don't want to talk about him. It's boxing politics, because even Ryan Garcia, none of these popular fighters, Rolly Romero, these clowns, want to mention Subriel Matias because they know they can't beat him. He's dangerous. So they're not going to give him any promotion. But they need to start promoting Subriel Matias because he deserves to be in a position where he could fight Devin Haney or Regis Progress. And Regis Progress said he was going to fight him. I heard on the internet that Regis Progress said he's going to fight Subriel Matias when he beats Devin Haney, which I don't think he's going to beat Devin Haney. But he has a puncher's chance. Devin Haney's chin is not too good. It's very questionable. So he got stunned by Linares. So imagine what Subriel will do to him. Anyway, Subriel Matias from Puerto Rico, la cara de Maternillo, Puerto Rico, wins the round, wins the fight, knocks out Ergashev in round 6. Hey, subscribe to my boxing channel. I have more content coming. Check out my music, Tony Also, the Prodigy by Biso Campos. Check out The Monumental Truth. All my music is on Spotify. You guys have a blessed day. Tony Also. I got Subriel Matias, round 6 KO. Enjoy the fight this Saturday, November 25th.